This episode of the Bright Sessions is brought to you by Care of, a monthly subscription vitamin service made from effective, quality ingredients personally tailored to your exact needs. For 25% off your first month of personalized Care of vitamins, visit takecareof.com and enter promo code THERAPY.
Well, don't you look terrible.
I bet you it's not as bad as I feel.
I made breakfast. It's in the kitchen.
Rose actually fed me. She's a chef, remember? Makes one hell of a fry-up.
Well, aren't you lucky? Sounds like the Atkinsons was a real resort experience.
It was actually kind of a nightmare. Being in a house with 4 atypicals, one of whom is a dream walker, is not my ideal way to sleep off a night of drinking. I'm about 7 different types of hungover right now.
Well,
I know what you're gonna say, okay? It's what I get for falling off the wagon, for being irresponsible, for fucking up again, that you're disappointed in me for doing the impulsive thing when I'm upset, that you'd hoped I've grown out of this. What, Mother Nad?
oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were carrying on both sides of the conversation. But if you'd like, I could do your part. I'm sorry, Joni. It won't happen again. It wasn't my fault, Joni. Thanks for posting bail,
There
Joni.
was one time in college.
Look at me. I'm fine, Joni.
I am fine. Stop treating me like a child.
Then stop acting like one.
Look, I am sorry, okay? I made a mistake, but everyone is making fucking mistakes. I mean, Sam called Damien yesterday, and you...
What? She did what?
Yeah, I'll explain later, but listen, she knows, all right? She knows she fucked up, and I'm handling it, but... Meanwhile, Agent Green is downstairs.
He's early.
What the hell, Joan? Wasn't exactly a pleasant surprise. I had to tell him to wait a few minutes so I could come up alone, because apparently you're expecting him.
He's here to talk about Wadsworth.
Jesus, what happened yesterday?
She comes back from DC tomorrow, and Owen wants to try and oust her before she can fire him.
All right. I'm officially too wrecked to deal with this right now. I'm going to bed.
It's 10 in the morning.
Just, why don't you talk with your boyfriend and we'll finish this later?
Don't think we won't. What?
Sorry, should I come back?
No, by all means, come on in.
I got you a coffee. You looked like you needed it.
Oh, yeah, I do. I still hate your guts.
Duly noted. If this is a bad time...
It's a terrible time. But I wouldn't count on there being a different kind in the near future, so say what you need to say.
Here. I got you one too. Non-fat vanilla latte? That's still your drink, right?
I rarely indulge in it these days. But yes. Thank you. Do you want to sit?
Thank you. I appreciate you being willing to sit down with me. I'm not here to ask for forgiveness or argue a case for myself. There's no excuse for what I've let happen. For what I've done.
But you've had a change of heart?
No. I just started listening to it. What is it about Ellie that makes you want to impress her? How does she do that?
I don't know.
It was all I cared about for so long. Even when I was bitter over her promotion. I always knew she was better than me. But I've always known you're better than me, and it doesn't... I like that about you.
And you were always trying to impress me too.
Yes, I was. And I think I succeeded in that. At least for a little while.
You did.
But with her, I resented her, and I still wanted to impress her. How does she do that?
It's what makes her an effective leader.
It's what makes her dangerous.
No argument here.
I should have been paying closer attention. I'm sorry. But it was easy to justify what we were doing, and...
Was it? Running what is essentially an illegal prison was easy to justify?
Joan, you knew about Tier 5 before you found out Mark was there.
I didn't know the specifics. I didn't know the extent of it.
But you worked in Tier 4. Those people may have eventually been let go, but most of them weren't there voluntarily. You knew that.
And that's why I went looking for Tier 5 in the first place. I was skeptical. I didn't think what we were doing was right.
I know, and you expressed those concerns to me, and I told you that's just how it was. But I should have listened to you.
Yes, you should have.
But here's the thing, Joan. None of it is illegal. Ellie's right about that. There's nothing in any federal or state law against it.
Imprisoning people indefinitely without due process?
Come on, you know that the government has done plenty of that.
Experiments, illegal drug trials, conditioning, kidnapping?
Yes, all technically against the law, but atypicals aren't recognized entities by the United States government. Not officially. They're separately categorized. In fact, I'm not sure they're categorized at all.
But there still has to be something in place about how atypicals are treated. It's not like we were given free range to do whatever we wanted. We were trained to help people.
I know. But I think it's a culture thing. More best practices rather than hard and fast rules. I've spent the past few months digging into the bylaws of the AM. You know how they tell us in orientation that it's a secret arm of the U.S. intelligence community?
Yes.
Well, that would mean that it's under the jurisdiction of a federal department, right?
Not necessarily. The CIA is an independent agency, isn't it?
Yes, but it still answers to the federal government. The AM doesn't.
What are you talking about?
The AM was founded in 1936, or so they say. But there are no founding documents. There's no paper trail connecting it to the federal government at all.
Then who oversees it?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I made some requests at the archives, and I just got the files yesterday.
They let you do that?
Well, not exactly. I have a friend. Do you remember Agent Plum? She was in the same recruitment group as Ellie and I.
Yes, vaguely.
Well, she runs the AM's archives now. She was always a bit too bookish to be doing our work, but she's a very good person, and she respects some healthy historical curiosity.
That's what you told her this was about? Historical curiosity?
I may be trying to change my ways, but lying still has its uses, I guess.
You're not wrong. What did you learn?
Well, that's what I'm hoping you can help me with.
She sent you all of this?
There's actually 3 more boxes in my car.
What? I thought we got rid of... Joni, your file boxes are multiplying.
They're not mine.
Oh. You're still here.
Would you like some tea? There's a fresh pot.
What is it with you and hot beverages?
We were just taking a break.
From what?
Owen is trying to help us find some leverage over Wadsworth.
Well, you're in luck. Hi, I'm Leverage. First-hand account of all the shady shit that woman has done.
Oh, trust me, you're a part of what I'm putting together. I want to reveal everything she's been doing to headquarters, but it would be good to have evidence that she's broken some concrete laws as well.
Ah, right. Because I don't exist?
More or less, yes. And I'm not familiar enough with leadership at HQ to know if Ellie is an anomaly or towing the party line.
So that's what all this is about?
We're trying to figure out whose jurisdiction the AM is even under. As director of an AM division, Wadsworth operates independently from the government. But that doesn't mean she isn't beholden to some set of rules. We just haven't found them yet.
Sounds thrilling. You should call Sam. She loves this kind of stuff.
I wasn't sure you'd want to see her.
I always want to see her. Even when she does stupid shit like call Damien.
Owen, we've sailed right past lunchtime. Would you mind going out and picking something up?
Yes, of course. I'll be back.
What happened?
After she talked to you, she panicked and called him to try and get information. She'd been jumping back into the past to try and figure me out, and God, I'm so pissed at her.
You're not the only one?
Yeah, she said you two got into it yesterday. Are you sure you want to see her?
She is good with this kind of stuff. We could probably use her help. And, well, I'm already working with Owen, so it's not like I'm being picky with my allies. Not that... It's not the same with Sam. She went down a bad path, but I understand it. I should have been paying closer attention.
Jesus, Joni, it's not your job to take care of everyone. When are you going to realize that?
Knowing it and feeling it are two very different things.
Do you think you and Sam will be okay?
I think so. There's no shortage of bad decisions between us, but nothing so broken it can't be fixed. Will you two be okay?
I don't know.
Well, at least everything's in the open now. Keeping secrets from each other never seems to end well. I don't know why we keep doing it.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject, Wadsworth told me something when she stopped by the other week. Something about you, and I've been trying to find the right moment.
She used me to make herself immune, didn't she?
What? How?
Yeah, I kind of thought as much. When you said that you had a theory about how she did it, I started thinking about what that could be. You didn't get all the brains in the family, Joni. Most of them, sure, but not all.
Why didn't you say anything?
Why didn't you?
I wasn't sure how to bring it up. Or when.
And what better time than when I'm sad and hungover? I wasn't sure I wanted to know. That's why I didn't ask what your theory was or if you'd managed to prove it. But it's true, isn't it?
She pretty much confirmed it, yes.
Fuck.
Couldn't have said it better myself. You're being uncharacteristically calm about this.
I've spent so much of the past few years falling apart. There's no more pieces of me left to break. Now I'm fucking furious.
Me too.
I want to help.
What?
With whatever you and Green are doing here. I don't trust the guy,
Neither do I.
but if he wants to make sure Wadsworth never does anything like this again, I'm on board.
Come in.
Hey guys.
Sam, good. You can start in on that pile.
Oh, okay. Sure. Hi.
Hey.
Are you...
Yeah, I'm good. Are you?
Yeah, fine. I guess I'll just get to work then. Seems like we're on a bit of a clock.
Yes, Ellie comes back tomorrow morning and, well...
I think it's very likely that she'll fire me. She knows I've been starting to express my doubts to HQ, and if it came up at all while she was there, well, tomorrow could very easily be my last day. And then I'll lose access to the facilities and all the files, and I want to make sure we have our ducks in a row before that happens.
Right. Does someone want to catch me up? What exactly are we looking for?
If we can figure out who oversees the AM, we can determine which, if any, laws Wadsworth has broken.
And then what?
And then I take it to headquarters.
And do you think they'll listen? They must have been aware of what Wadsworth is doing. I mean, if they haven't shut her down already...
That's what I thought at first, too. And I've talked to some of my colleagues at other divisions. No one seems to be as extreme as Ellie, but...
They're also not all squeaky clean.
So then it's likely whoever's on top is okay with what Wadsworth's been up to.
Or, at the very least, willing to turn a blind eye. But if we can find out who oversees the AM...
Then we can go over HQ's head.
Or blackmail them. Whichever gets the results we want.
Wow, look who's starting to grow a spine.
Yes, well, I learned a few things dating your sister for 3 years. Even if I'd forgotten a lot of them in the 3 years since.
Anyway, do we have any idea who those people might be?
I thought it would be the Department of Justice, but we haven't found anything to support that.
But they'd care anyway, right? I mean, the Supreme Court would have a field day with this.
At the risk of exposing the atypical community to the public, there's a reason the AM's ties with the American government are tenuous. It's easier to keep a secret when so few people know it.
Which means we have to find the people who know it.
All right. Guess I'll start reading.
The Order.
What?
I'm looking at some stuff from the 40s and they keep referencing the Order with both words capitalized. Is that anything?
The Order. Does that sound familiar to you, John?
It does.
Sounds like a secret society or something.
Or a religious order.
What, with like monks and stuff?
That's it.
It is?
No, you're right. That's why it sounds familiar. There was a kind of urban legend that would make its way through the AM every time a new class of agents or scientists came through.
Yes, a piece of AM lore about how the organization began.
I always assumed it was mostly fabricated. An order of monks who have studied atypicals for centuries, helping to start a government intelligence agency always seemed like a bit of a stretch.
But you think it might be true?
Maybe not the monk bit, but a group that founded the AM? Mark, what does it say about the order?
It's all pretty vague. It's a report from a case in 1944, talking about how an ambassador from the order brought over some information from the Registre des Phénomènes Inhabituels. God, it's been a long time since high school French.
The Register of Unusual Phenomena?
That sounds like the AM, just, French. Does the AM work with international organizations?
Of course. We share intelligence with all our allies like any other U.S. agency.
And is there usually a go-between, an ambassador?
I don't know. That's not my department.
Then who communicates with foreign intelligence?
Well, there's a position in each division specifically for working with other agencies.
A single position, right? It's not a whole department.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Who's that position now?
No one. No one in our division. The last person to fill that role left 6 or 7 years ago. They said they were going to find a replacement, but we've just been reporting directly to D.C. Or we've been reporting to Wadsworth, who's been reporting to D.C. Whenever we need information from other agencies, we request it from HQ or Division 3. They're the closest branch to us geographically.
What if that position was some sort of oversight? What if whatever the order is still in operation?
And you guys think that this order is what founded the AM?
That was the story. If they still exist, they might be the people in charge. They might be able to do something.
It feels a bit like a Hail Mary, but we don't have any other options.
Okay, so we look for everything that mentions the order. See if we can find out if it's still operating.
There is another way. Might be faster.
What?
Sam?
I didn't want to suggest it, given, everything.
Look, if you don't want to...
It's not that. I don't know where the line is.
Wherever it is, they crossed it first.
That doesn't mean I don't want to know where our lines are. Mine was certainly much farther than I'm comfortable with, and I don't want to make that mistake again.
We can argue ethics later, but right now we only have so much time to find something that will scare Wadsworth enough to bring her down. Knowing what she's done doesn't give us anything over her, but knowing who to take that information to might.
Fine, I'll get going then.
No, Sam, come on. If you don't want to, that's fine. You don't have to leave.
No, that's not... I'll go. I'll see what I can find out, but I'm not doing it here, not with you around.
Right.
I can't risk it. Are you sure you're okay with this?
Yeah. Are you?
Okay, enough. I can't promise I'll be able to find anything.
We'll keep looking here. And then tomorrow, we'll work with what we have.
Good, Agent Green. I was just about to come and see you. I have some news.
Director,
Don't worry, Green. I think you're going to like it.
there's someone here to see you.
Can it wait?
No, Ellie. It can't.
Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, the time has come, has it? I assume you think you found whatever smoking gun you need to bring me down.
Yes, we have.
Oh, look at that. Back together again. I really didn't think you'd forgive him, Joan.
This isn't about forgiveness. This is about setting things right.
And what exactly do you think you've set right?
Headquarters should be calling you any moment now. They've been made aware of everything you've been doing.
I know. I just got off the phone with them, actually. Your timing really is perfect. A sudden sharp pain in my back, and here you are! The people who have driven the knife through it.
Good Lord, Ellie, do we really need all the dramatics?
Finding out my right hand has been staging a coup feels fairly dramatic.
Oh, I'm your right hand now?
Not a very good one, apparently, but that's all right. You'll continue to fail upwards, I've no doubt.
You can stop with the jabs, Ellie. It's over.
I know that. What do you think the boxes are for?
You're leaving? Just like that?
When I left DC yesterday, the higher-ups couldn't have been happier with the results that I've been getting. I finally had a prototype of the immunity drug to show them, and let me tell you, they were thrilled. Still are, in fact. So much so that General Bay suggested that I be promoted.
Excuse me?
Well, it wasn't entirely his suggestion, I'll admit. More my suggestion through him. See, the General doesn't have the most spotless record either, and he was more than willing to take my call last month when I started to think it would be prudent to make a move. DC agreed.
Then they must have been very disappointed when they received the file we sent to them.
It was inconvenient, yes, but they understood where I was coming from. And well, given that part of my promotion was the recommendation that this branch be put under review, I don't think anyone was too shocked to hear that my number 2 wasn't exactly happy with me.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that you may try to play the board like the rest of us, Owen, but I will always be a move ahead of you. I'm relocating to Washington. I won't be the boss anymore, but it's a small price to pay for working at headquarters. I knew it was only a matter of time before you tried to undermine me, and once Joan made it clear that she wouldn't be my backseat driver, I decided it would be smart to get into a different car. Let someone else steer for a little while.
Which means what exactly?
That I'm going to be a deputy director at headquarters. Get a broader picture, work with atypicals less.
That's a relief.
Keep an eye on the whole operation. But don't worry. There are a lot more people holding me accountable. I know that's something the two of you worry about.
But we told headquarters what you've been up to. Surely they're going
What?
to...
They can't still promote me because I made a few bad decisions?
You broke several of the Order's bylaws. We proved that.
And I'm certainly not the first director to do so. I've worked for the AM for over 10 years. They're not going to throw that away because of a hiccup or two. Just like we didn't cast Joan out when she broke protocol quite spectacularly.
I wasn't exactly grateful for that.
But you still did good work. You helped your patients, alerted us to new atypicals, even sent some through our program here, to great success, I might add.
And you think you can still do good work?
Yes, I do. I am smart enough to admit that maybe there are other ways to get results, better ways, and I'm willing to try.
One promotion and you're suddenly reformed?
I don't need to be reformed, Joan. I don't regret anything I've done. But I'm open to alternatives.
I don't buy that for a second. You're just going to poison the entire organization from the center, hurt even more people.
Oh, Joan, ye of little faith. There was a time when you admired me and my work. Maybe you should try to remember why. There must have been a reason for it. Now, why don't you go out and wait with Mark and Sam? Yes, I know they're here. Of course I know. I need to talk to Owen. Alone.
Are you sure you don't want to leave? I can drop you off somewhere and come back to pick up Joan.
No, it's fine. It's weird being here in the daylight. It looks so normal.
Yeah, it does.
Guess you've seen it in the daylight though, huh? More recently than I have?
It's not like I traveled back to stand in the parking lot. I was mostly inside. And,
Tier 5.
yeah.
Right. The land of no windows.
I don't know how you survived it, honestly. It was one thing to hear about it from you, but to see it... I'm sorry, I shouldn't...
No, it's okay. In a weird way, it's... I don't know, it's a sort of a relief that you know. Makes some things easier.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm still pissed that you went back without talking to me.
I know.
And that you called Damien.
I know. Oh, shit, I forgot to tell you. Chloe ran into him the other day.
What?
She's on her way home, and they stopped at the same roadside diner.
You're kidding.
I know, and I genuinely think it was just a coincidence.
What was he doing there?
I think he may have been coming to see you.
What?
Well, when I talked to him on the phone, he seemed worried. But he turned around, I'm pretty sure. Chloe talked to him, and I don't know, I think he realized it was a bad idea. That you wouldn't want to see him.
Thank God.
You wouldn't
What?
want to see him?
No. No, I don't think I would. I don't... I don't want anything bad to happen to him, but I don't ever want to see him again. Being around him, his power, it could feel good, you know? There was something about him. But it's like going to take a sip of scotch and it ends up being bleach. You think it's gonna be something that tastes good and gets you drunk, but it's just poison. Chloe's okay.
Yeah, she's good. She'll be home soon.
Good. Do you think,
Yeah?
lose his number?
What?
You've been keeping tabs on him.
Yes.
Don't.
I won't ever call him again, I promise.
I know, but that's not why I just don't... I want to be done with him. For good.
Are you sure? I mean, what if he...
There are AMs all over the country, all over the world, apparently, and we don't even know if he'll ever get his power back. He's not our problem anymore. I don't want him to be our problem anymore.
Okay.
I love you. I should have said that before. I should have said it a long time ago. I love you.
Even though...
Yes. Look, I don't know if that's enough. There's still a lot we need to talk about, and you're right. There's a lot to worry about. With me. Spending a night in a house full of atypicals showed me that.
Did something happen?
No, not really. It was just overwhelming, and it's given me a lot to think about. And I'm not saying everything's fine, but I needed you to know.
Okay. Thank you.
Is that Joan?
Yeah, I think so. Why isn't Agent Green with her?
I don't know.
It had to have worked, right?
Yeah, it definitely worked. I mean, there's no way the folks on top could ignore what she's doing, especially after we told them that we'll tell the Order if they don't do anything.
Yeah, but we still don't know if that actually means anything. I mean, yes, the Order was clearly in charge at one point, but who knows what it's like now? It's not like we found a contact number for them.
Yeah, but the AM doesn't need to know that. Joni, what happened?
That remains to be seen.
What do you mean?
Ellie is being promoted.
What?
It seems that she'd secured a new job when she was down in DC, and what we told HQ didn't change that.
How's that possible?
They think she could still be valuable, under supervision.
Are you fucking kidding me? That Viper imprisoned and experimented on people for years, and she's getting a fucking raise?
She knew this was coming. She knew we would try something, so she got ahead of it, admitted her own wrongdoing before we could, making her look trustworthy, self-aware.
And they reward that with a shiny new position?
It's clearly an imperfect system.
No fucking kidding.
What about the Order?
I don't think the AM wants to tell the Order about Ellie. Apparently, this isn't the first time that someone in the organization has gone rogue. It seems they like to handle it internally,
Okay, then we'll tell them.
if we can find them.
This is bullshit.
Yes, it is.
Heads up, Agent Green and Wadsworth
Mark.
are...
God, how dare she?
Mark, remember where you are. You can't do anything.
We should go.
No, she looks like she wants to talk to us, so let her talk to us.
I don't think that's wise. We'll go home, re-strategize.
Fuck that. We're having this out right here, right now.
Oh, look, the whole gang is here. Samantha, Byron, good to see you.
Oh, really? We're gonna play that game, Annabelle Whitney? What, like your own nephew doesn't know your real name? Or did you forget that we know each other?
Still petulant as ever, I see.
Why don't you walk away, Ellie?
I just wanted to say goodbye. I leave for DC in a week, and while I'm sure I'll be back to visit my family, I can't imagine I'll be making social calls at the Bryant household anytime soon.
Too fucking right.
What are you going to do there?
I'm sorry?
Let's just cut to the chase. You somehow squirreled your way into a promotion. What are you going to do with it?
The work.
Meaning...
I'll do what I need to do to advance the field and protect American lives. Within a system of checks and balances, of course.
Oh, of course.
My goodness, for a group of people who have done many questionable things themselves, you sure are awfully high and mighty. So you're allowed to change and grow and I'm not? Is that it?
Are you going to change, Ellie? Or is this just another power play?
Why can't it be both?
Forgive me if I don't exactly trust you.
I am sorry, Mark. for treating you the way that I did. I'm sorry that it was necessary.
It wasn't necessary.
Of course it was. We needed to learn more.
Oh, and you needed to make yourself immune.
Yes, in fact, I did. It makes me more effective at my work.
I don't believe you. How do you not see anything wrong with what you did?
Of course I do. I understand where you're coming from. I just don't agree. And that's fine. You need that for progress. Joan will tell you, you need people who disagree. That's how you move forward, get better. I'm sure Sam and Joan here haven't agreed on every aspect of how to run their little pet project.
That's completely different. We're never physically harming anyone. We both want to help people. We agree on that. And that's all that matters. What we build won't use people.
But you're building something using research that I conducted. You haven't physically been there, but you've still benefited from what I've done. Dozens of people have. Do you think Mr. Sandoval would have known what to do with Chloe without the AM's research? That Damien would have survived Caleb's assault? The information we get from Tier 5 is invaluable for the well-being of all atypicals.
Most of us have gotten on just fine without you.
You know, Samantha, we are quite close to developing a drug that would regulate Class D abilities. Something only made possible by the work we did with Camille.
How dare you talk about
Can
her?
you imagine what your life would be like if you'd had access to resources that could have helped you manage your ability from the moment it presented? Your parents may still be alive, Samantha. No other AM facility was doing the kind of cutting-edge work that I did. I'm the one who's taken the steps to change things. You can look down your nose at it, but you'll all be thanking me in the future.
None of that justifies torturing people.
A small number of people, many of whom are not exactly upstanding citizens.
Is that truly how you see all atypicals, as dangerous?
No, Samantha, but as Mark will confirm, most of his floor mates were the very dregs of humanity.
Camille was a good person.
Camille used her ability to travel back into people's pasts and then blackmail them.
So what, anyone who lives a less than perfect life gets to go into your Wonka factory of superhumans?
What about Trevor, who used his telekinesis to squeeze the air out of his victims' lungs? Or Casey, who trapped people in their worst nightmares? What would you have done with them?
And where exactly did taking Mark, and I imagine many other innocent individuals, fit into this?
Mark would have become dangerous eventually.
Don't pretend to believe that. He always had excellent control.
Did he? He nearly burned down his dormitory senior year and was almost discovered numerous times throughout his college years.
I was always careful.
Your careful clearly wasn't good enough. I'm sorry that you couldn't see it, Joan, but your brother was always on the brink of exploding and exposing all atypicals. We couldn't have that. And look at him now. Not perfect, but his control is much improved. We did that.
Don't pretend to know my family better than me, Ellie.
Oh, but I do, Joan. You've always had the same problem. You care too much. Your love for people blinds you.
She sees her patients as people, not things to be exploited.
Oh, really? My. How things can change in a year. Look at where your patients are now, Joan. Most of them aren't even in therapy anymore. You grew attached and you complicated their lives, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. I may seem cold and unfeeling, but that is what makes me good at my job. I couldn't do what I do if I cared the way Joan cared.
HQ must be thrilled to be gaining such an impartial mind.
I think they are. I have solutions. Maybe we won't need to use them, I hope we won't, but HQ understands that it's important to have someone who can... How do I put it?
Put down the rabid dog?
Yes, exactly. But that doesn't mean we're not going to at least try and cure the rabies first.
What about the Order? Based off of everything I've seen, they won't be happy with this. With you.
That may be true. But you've given me a gift in that regard. The Order will be made aware that they haven't had an ambassador in this division for the past 7 years. An unfortunate oversight, I'll admit. They'll be brought up to speed on what's been going on. All the missteps. And this branch will be placed under review and properly reformed. Their attention will be here.
And meanwhile, you'll be off imprisoning dangerous atypicals in DC?
Actually, no. HQ doesn't have outpatient or inpatient facilities. It is pure bureaucracy. You would love it, Green, if you weren't such a terrible politician. Speaking of, I need to get back to the office. I've got a call in 10 minutes.
Ellie,
I am sorry, Joan, for hurting you. And you, Mark, for what it's worth, you may be a bit unnatural, but that doesn't mean you deserve to be trapped in the past for 2 years. That was unfortunate.
Fuck you.
That's fine. Make me the bad guy. But I'm done meddling in your lives. You'll still be registered with the AM, of course, but I won't recommend you for further examination.
Are we supposed to be grateful for that?
You can feel however you want about it. It's an olive branch. Take it or don't. I know my intentions. I believe in what I'm doing, and I have more important things to focus on now. That's what matters.
I will take you down someday, Annabelle. I will make sure that you can't hurt anyone ever again.
You're welcome to try, Mark. But let's be clear. I'm giving you a free pass. All of you. But that doesn't mean I won't intervene if you put the larger population at risk. If you put people in harm's way or risk revealing atypicals to the public eye, I will stop you. But for now, I guess this is goodbye. I hope someday you're able to see things from my perspective.
I wouldn't count on it.
No, I suppose I won't.
Fuck. Fuck.
Are you okay?
My legs feel like jelly.
Come on, we should get you home.
Do you really think she'll leave us alone?
Yes, I think she will.
Jeez, I forgot you were there.
Yes, you've been awfully quiet.
Yeah, sorry. The conversation I had with Wadsworth left me a bit... well,
What? What did she say? Did she fire you?
no, she didn't. She gave me her old job. I'm the new director.
Thanks to Care of for supporting the Bright Sessions. Even when you try to maintain a healthy diet, it can be hard to get all the nutrients your body needs for long-term health. Care of's fun online quiz makes it really easy to figure out what vitamins and supplements you specifically need. Recommendations are based on clinical research and traditional medicine with input from doctors and nutritionists. Your subscription box includes individually wrapped packets with your specific vitamins and supplements for easy grab and go. And vegan and vegetarian options are available as well to match your dietary needs. This has been so huge for me. Being a freelance creative means that sometimes living healthy is low on the to-do list. But Care of makes it easy for me to get the nutrients I need every day, and feeling better leads to better work. For 25% off your first month of personalized Care of vitamins, visit takecareof.com and enter promo code therapy. That's 25% off your first month of personalized Care of vitamins when you go to takecareof.com and enter therapy at checkout. Episode 55 was written and directed by Lauren Shippen and produced by Misha Stanton. In this episode, you heard the voices of Julia Morizawa as Dr. Bright, Andrew Nowak as Mark, Ian McEwen as Agent Green, Lauren Shippen as Sam, and Alex Marshall Brown as Wadsworth. Our music is composed and performed by Evan Cunningham. As we start to move into the next phase of the show, with bonus episodes starting this summer and our first spin-off coming out next spring, our supporters on Patreon are more vital than ever. If you'd like to help us make the show and get a behind-the-scenes look at everything that's happening, including monthly Q&As with myself and cast and crew, please visit patreon.com/thebrightsessions. The Bright Sessions will conclude on June 13th with our series finale. Until then, thanks for listening and stay strange.